I'm ready. Ross, am I ready? Okay. Good morning, and welcome to a Sukkot celebration in St. Francisville, Louisiana. One of the most beautiful Sukkots we've ever been to. I want to first of all thank all the folks, and I don't want to start naming names because I'd forget somebody to help make this happen. There was a lot of effort that was required, and a lot of great food, and a lot of great talks about the Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Ketuvim, or the Hebrew Bible. I'm very emotionally fed at this place and met a lot of great people. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about a video that we did in Israel, and it's kind of loosely based on Deuteronomy 32 and Psalm 92. And the video is really an amazing thing that my wife, Patty, found along our journey. Our journey has been a long one. In January or February, we're going to have been married 39 years. So we've been searching the scriptures, and we're not just Johnny-come-latelys, but we've been in a long, straight path to this, crooked path, to this Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, and what that Creator says. So the Davidic cipher, I want to just talk about that before we start. So the Davidic cipher was created by Dennis McCorkle. And essentially what he did is he looked at the cantillation symbols in the Psalms. And there are 10 of them, like 10 commandments maybe. And they are used to create sounds, notes. And so he used what was called an Atbash cipher, and he applied it to the Hebrew alphabet, or the alphabet of the Hebrew language. And it turned every letter, aleph, bet, so on, into a note. And then he ran that over the actual text and came up with a melody, and you're going to hear one of those today. So this is extremely an amazing thing that we might be hearing, and I cannot claim that we are, but we might be hearing a melody today from 3,500 years ago, whenever Moses wrote the book of Deuteronomy. So I want to just say quickly, how did we get to this video? I got to keep myself because it was driven by my son who's passed, Daniel. But it goes way deeper than that. Actually, it goes back to the early 90s when I talked to a man named Simcha Perlmutter by email. I never went to Israel then. And we talked about the Bible and the New Testament and the Old Testament is what I called it then. And it was really an amazing discussion. And there was a local group in Rochester, New York, that had a paper called Patikva, and we were looking, we were searching to get out of what we were in. Anyways, a few years go by, and my wife sees Dr. James Tabor on TV talking about the Bible, and saw that his name was Tabor, and since her baby Tabor was on her birth certificate, she called him up and said, hey, I want to find out about Tabors. Had nothing to do with religion, so this is divine providence. And then they start talking about religion, and James sent us a few pages called Restoring Abrahamic Faith. It wasn't a book, it was probably 15 pages long. And we started a dialogue. So years go by, and James is working with the people down at Tamar. He of course, visited Simcha Perlmutter, and also Dwayne Coxon, who was a Christian that took it over, and it's called Blossoming Rose now. It's a lot of other stuff in there. We can talk about that at another time. But here's what happened. We go down there once, and it's hotter than the blazes, and we're melting. And I'm like, who in the heck would want to go to this place? Not me. But afterwards, we realized the importance from a biblical perspective, and we're talking about Exodus, the time of Exodus, and then on, and Solomon, and James has talked about the other folks that have been there. We know that Tamar is an oasis that's at least 6,000 years old, and so when you're in the middle of the desert, we heard a little bit yesterday, it's commonly translated wilderness, it's really the desert, and you'll see that in the video today. You need to go to get water. And this is the place where it happened. So James got us hooked there, and we now have United Israel huts there, a whole hut trailer, and we encourage people to go there. I encourage people to go on the tour with Dr. Tabor and Ross because it is extremely enlightening to see it in light of the Hebrew Bible. So then, then my son passes, and I'm not going to get into that, but we have a memorial for him there, and his ashes went there. And he was, the Coxons gave us something beautiful. They gave us the Ephraim plot. And so he's the first one to be brought there. And as I sat there looking at Prayer Mountain, which you're going to see in this video, I thought I would like to do a video. And then Patty kept singing the Song of Moses for 11 years. And I said, we're going to do a video there. And I thought of The Sound of Music and the opening scene where Julie Andrews is in, the hills are alive. And I thought, well, the desert is alive. That's kind of what my thought was. So I got things set up. I got in touch through Ross with the man, Yoram, who runs Bible Walks, a beautiful, beautiful site. He does aerial photography using drones of all the biblical sites. He's an amazing man. So we get packed up, Dave Cole and Sherry Cole, and Ross happened to be there, and we went down there, and we're going to shoot this video. And we were like our Hollywood production team. And we got there, and Yoram calls and says, my drone crashed. And I'm like, okay, can't you buy a new one?
That's not what he said.
No. So then I was in panic. And so James had introduced me to a guy named Elon Pomerantz, and a Jewish boy from New Jersey. And we had a really good friendship, and it's even gotten better. So I called Elon, because he lives in Israel now, and I said, Elon, I need a really big favor. He goes, oh, okay, what's that? I go, the drone, man. I lost the drone guy, and I got all this money here, and the Coles are waiting, and Patty's waiting, and he goes, I'll work on it. So long story short, an Orthodox Jew who's become one of my best friends, his name is Yehoshua Fleischer. He's a videographer, and he calls me. He said, I'd love to work on this with you. And I said, okay, how about tomorrow? And he goes, well, I'm in the military reserve duty, and I can't leave. I'm like, how about 2 weeks? I go, no, I don't have 2 weeks, dude. I'm like, my budget's already expended. And he says, I'll see what I can do. I'll try to find you somebody. So he goes back into his room, and the commander there said, what's with the long face, Yehoshua? He said, oh, there's some people from New York wanting me to do a film, on a video. What's it of? It's of Deuteronomy 32, and it's down in Iravot or Tamar. And he goes, he's going to have to go back to New York, and I'm going to miss this job. And the commander says, get down there and do this video. So Yehoshua pulls up with his guns, and I'm like nervous because he's Orthodox. And it was really a beautiful thing. And we started. So Dave had filmed all the ground video you're going to see, Dave Cole. And Yehoshua had his drone. And we got Patty stuffed into a white dress that she had to climb up the mountain in. And it was amazing. And so then we get done. And now we got to put the video together. We have hours of video. So the video that we have to get someone who understands what we're trying to do. So again, I call Yehoshua and I say, Yehoshua, can you do editing? He goes, no, but he goes, I know a great woman. Her name's Polina Remez, another Orthodox Jew. And I'm like, okay, can we get her to work? And she worked feverishly on this and did a phenomenal job. At home, we had Mikey Lawrence do all the incredible sound production, helped us with the introduction, which is an orchestral introduction. Yeah. And so all that was put together, and we kept going through, and now we have the video ready to go. And we hope that it's a clarion call to come back. If you listen to the words of this song and listen to the melody, it's a plea for God to come back to us because we left him a long time ago. And I mean that as humanity. And I know that we're all here doing this. So I hope this video goes viral. I'm just so proud of it. At the end, there's some credits that are very important, and I want you to be quiet and read through the credits. And then at the very end, there's a dedication, a memoriam to David Horowitz, who founded United Israel World Union, a man who really, in 1944, changed the way we see things. So without further ado, Chuck, you want to get the lights? And Ross?
Listen, you heavens, and I will speak. Let the earth hear the words of my mouth. For they will fall as rain from the sky, and as dew on the grass they will lie. For I will proclaim the name of Yahweh and tell of what rightly is His. For His works are faithful, His words are true. Ki la'olam chasdo,
the Torah, the Nevi'im and the Ketuvim. So we believe that redemption is coming, and this is kind of a call for those people to do that. I want to really thank my wife for the effort that she put in. She really did a great job. You know,
This is free for everyone to share and
Right.
distribute.
It'll be on YouTube, and we'll post the link.
great. So we got some links going on, and we're not looking for. We did this out of our love of Jehovah and our love of His way and His land, Israel. The last thing I'll say before I cut off here is that you will not believe how important Tamar is becoming in our study of the Exodus route. It is mind-bogglingly important, and I want to thank Dr. Tabor for fixing us up there. And he had the first hut. We had the second hut. We hope to have many more huts there. And maybe to have Sukkot there someday would be an amazing thing. This is where the tribes walk by, no doubt. They've walked right by this place. So it's a very nice, a great place for us.
Dave, I hate to get all symbolic
Yeah.
on you, but I saw a woman standing on the head of a serpent.
It's a pretty big serpent, I noticed.
It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Symbolically.
Symbolically.
A woman of Israel.
Yeah, yeah. She was singing, and like I said, I want to thank Dennis McCorkle for doing a great job of figuring out the cipher, and for everyone else. Again, I want to thank everyone that helped us make this Sukkot down here so good. And if you want to hear more of my pontificating, at 3:00, I'm going to be giving another talk at Central Time, and it's about the significance of Sukkot and the prophetic nature of the future, and it's really Patty's idea. I'm going to give credit to her because she wrote like almost the entire presentation for me this afternoon and said, "Here, why don't you give this?" And I added like 5 slides or something, and it's just amazing, that we work so well together. I'm very grateful to Patty for her effort and the singing of this and how much we sweated over it, because I think it's a beautiful video. And I'm just so grateful that Judah and Joseph worked together, because these Orthodox Jews told us, when you come to Israel, you're going to have Shabbat at our place. So it's just a wonderful thing, and I hope that David would have been proud, David Horowitz and all the other folks that are with him, that we're trying to get this word out and not let it die. So we want to invite other young people too, not just us old gray-hairs. We need young people to come and be with us, and I know a lot of people like Jodell and Ross and other people here have tried to bring in people, and so that kind of a tent meeting that Ross talked about. I could not believe how many times in my talk this afternoon the word 10 is used. And I had no coordination with what you're saying. It's amazing. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you share the video as much as possible. I hope it goes viral. Shalom.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you. I don't know why one speaker wasn't working.
Are you telling them we're coming back?